Today, we're going to take a look back at Toronto's housing market in 2021. How do we end the year? How do we start the year? And everything between. My name is John Passalis, president at Realosophy Realty. You can catch all my latest writings on Toronto's housing market at movesmartly.com. To stay up to date on all my latest videos, please hit the like and subscribe button on this channel. Before I jump into the housing market, I just want to let everyone know in February, I'm going to be launching a home buying boot camp for anyone looking at the housing market, investing, buying. This is going to be a course on some of the details and strategies buyers can take to be competitive in what is a competitive market. So click the link below if you're interested. We'll be launching that in February. You're going to limit the numbers at the beginning because I'm going to be actively involved. We have tons of videos, tons of content, and it's something I'm going to be hands-on with, kind of walking through everyone who signs up for it. Moving on to Toronto's housing market. So before we talk about how the year ended, let's do a quick recap on 2021. So the year started with a boom. I mean, really, talking about the start of 2021, we actually have to look back a couple of months into 2020, and the housing market really exploded the last couple of months of 2020 and into the first month of 2021. So if we look at, I think it's probably between October 2020 and literally January of this year, or of 2021, house prices exploded from around 1.1 million to 1.3 million. That's low-rise homes. I'm kind of focusing on low-rise because that's kind of been the hottest segment. And there was unbelievable competition, very frenzied market, tons of offers, ridiculous prices, and literally average home prices went up 200 grand in probably about 2 or 3 months. And then since January and February of 2021, the market actually plateaued, and it was quite interesting. Average home prices, if you look back, pretty much stayed flat at around 1.3 million up until August. And it was an interesting market. It was still busy. It was competitive. But the market wasn't as panicked. There wasn't as much fear of missing out. Buyers were more calm. They were more balanced, putting in reasonable prices in homes. Even though the market was still competitive, it felt like it hit this ceiling where there's just too much pressure on prices, and buyers were kind of pulling back. But that momentum kind of turned in September of 2021. All of a sudden, the market exploded again. I mean, I think part of this is there's been a lot of research that some of the big increases in demand over the past year have been from investors. They disproportionately outpaced sort of sales relative to first-time buyers. So we saw a lot more investment demand, probably in the condo market and in the low-rise market. But since September, house prices really accelerated. So average home prices sort of in August were probably close to 1.3 million. And now, end of December of 2021, we're just under 1.5 million. So again, another rapid acceleration in home prices. I mean, if we look back to October 2020, home prices have gone up from about 1.1 million to nearly 1.5 million in about 15 months, which is an unbelievable rate of appreciation. And a lot of this has been driven by the suburbs. It's the suburbs that have seen a much bigger increase, especially low rise in their prices. So when we look at sort of the average statistics, number of home sales across the GTA in 2021, just over 119,000. That's surpassed the previous peak in 2016, which is 112. When we look at the average price for low-rise homes, the average in 2021 was 1.34 million, which was up 23%. Condos was 702, up 11%. So again, even when we look at the average price for 1.34 million, that's obviously taking into account the fact that for 9 months out of the year, average home prices were about 1.3. But since then, they've really accelerated at the end of the year. So we're starting at a much higher place now. Now, the big thing is that anyone who's looking in the market is going to see that inventory is unbelievably low. I mean, inventory is not low because no one's listing their home. There are a lot of people listing their homes, more than in previous years, but the problem is demand is unbelievably high and much higher than it's ever been. And there isn't as much low-rise kind of new listings to keep up with this really strong demand we're seeing in the housing market. So when we end sort of December, when we look at the active number of listings on the market, I think there are around 1,500 low-rise homes. Usually we'd expect maybe closer to 5,000. When we look at the condo market, closer to around 1,700 homes, in there we expect maybe around 3,000, homes listed or condos listed for sale at the end of the month. So again, really, we're starting 2022 with not a lot of active inventory. And that's obviously going to lead to a very competitive market for the start of the year. In a few upcoming videos, I'm going to share some thoughts into some outlook on, factors that actually might cool the housing market in the year ahead, and things that we should be mindful of if we're looking at buying a home in 2020. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments below, or send me an email at askjohn@movesmartly.com.